Hello there, beautiful sisters of our Girl Awakening family. Thank you, dear Amanda and Joe, for inviting me to be here in this Girl Awakening Summit. Such an exciting platform to be providing for our sisters out there in our global family to assist you in any way that we can, and ourselves at the same time in doing so, during these big, beautiful times of deep transformation that we are in. My name is Gemma, for those of you that don't know, or Jemmita, as I'm affectionately called by my beautiful Andean family. Some of you may know me, some of you may not, and wonder why the hell there's a blonde lady sitting in front of your screen with an Andean hat on. Strangely enough, many, many years ago, I began my journey in the sacred ancestral medicines of the Andes, training with my teachers there that have now become my very, very close family. Maestro Puma and I run a 12-month online medicine woman apprenticeship. It's a really deep dive into walking the path of what we call the Hampik Nusta, which translates to the healer priestess in Quechua. So we're learning all about the intricacies of the Andean altar that we call the mesa, which is what I have here, which is foundational and fundamental to our work as medicine women, but also gives us a lot of support, clarity, strength, insight, wisdom, power, empowerment as we walk our spiritual path. So today, what I would love to share with you is about these times that we are in, how they were prophesized, and how everything is right on track. It can be, and it can feel really, really big, you know, as we're going through this awakening process. There's so many different energies arriving to us from so many different places. So I want to take a little look at what some of those things are and how we can deal with them. First to say, back in the Andean tradition, and again, I'm Australian by birth, I'm Gaelic by blood and bones, but there is something that stirs deep within a remembering from the minute I stepped foot on the Andes, on the soil in Cusco back in 2012. A divine memory was awakened, and I can't explain it, but the traditions and the wisdom of the Andes resonate so incredibly deeply within me, and they have absolutely changed my life. I walk the path of a medicine woman, a curandera. I have done for about 13 years now, and been walking a spiritual path for a lot longer before that, 25 years I would say now, starting to show my age. But what I love about the wisdom of the Andes is that, first of all, it's very generous. The Andean people, they don't hold back in sharing, and this is largely due to their prophecies, which I'll tell you about in a moment. Secondly, it's simple, but it's profound, and it can be integrated very easily into our lives. And I really believe, from the work that I do with the medicines and from what I see, that the biggest disease, you'll notice I say, on this planet is disconnection. It's disconnection from nature, first and foremost, disconnection from each other, and most importantly, disconnection from ourselves. And when we walk and work in those shamanic worlds, and I know that word is thrown around a lot, but what does it really mean? It really means that we are intrinsically aware of our interconnectedness with all things, and we start to learn or remember. In the Andes, there is no such word in Quechua for learn. There's a word yuya, which means to remember, and that is wisdom. It's not really about learning something new, but rather activating a memory that lies deep within you, each and every one of you, in your DNA. And that's what I believe that mentors and guides are here for, is not to teach you anything, but to guide you back to what we call the achai, or the wisdom that lies already within you. And so when we remember ourselves as nature, that there is no separation between us and the elements. You know, the ashes from the fires have forged your bones. The waters, like the first plankton, the first life on this earth that came from the waters is in your blood. The rocks are in your body. You're literally made up of the minerals of stardust, so you are the cosmos. And when we start to really get this and understand this, and then we start to notice and allow ourselves to be followed by synchronicities in life that are constantly guiding and leading us. These are signals from nature, signals from the universe that are saying, this way, no, come this way. And then boom, you know, a sign appears and it shows us. When you start to learn to read those, then that's really what it is to live a life full of magic and adventure. And we turn the mundane into the magical. And this is a very, very fulfilling life. So, my purpose and my mission on this earth is to, there's many things, but one of them is to assist people to remember, to connect back in to themselves, into nature, and to uncover that divine memory that lives within, to uplift, empower, and to help you remember who you really are, so that you can step fully and completely into your sacred gifts, no matter where you come from in the world or what your background or your lineage is, and shine. Because, you know, we say in the Andes, I say that, it sounds weird, doesn't it? But we say in the Andes that we are beyond now the lineage of blood and bones, right? And I know there's a lot of talk around that in so many different ways. But this was always prophesized by the ancestors, that we would come to this place. And it's been prophesized by many different indigenous traditions right across the world, on every single part of the planet, that this time that we are in is a time of great transition and a time of great change. In the Andes, we call these pachacutis, and they're these cycles within cycles. Now, science will tell us that about 250,000 years ago, there was a huge change in the DNA of humans. Nobody knows exactly what that is, and it kind of depends on what your belief system, maybe your religion, whatever it might be, your spirituality, tells you about that. But something shifted in our DNA back then. And it seems, and it was prophesized, that at around that point, we were put to sleep. There was a big forgetting that happened. And as the generations moved through, we became less and less awake and less conscious, until we hit a tipping point. And that's been happening for quite some time. Of course, there's been many people before us across the ages, across the years, that have come with powerful messages of awakening, of love, you know, of unification. But really, since 2012, when the Mayans predicted the end of the world, but what they were really predicting was the end of the earth as we knew it, the end of the world as we knew it. And the Kundalini energy, the Kausai energy, the Quetzalcoatl, shifted from the heart being in the Himalayas to being in the Andes. And even the Dalai Lama recognized this, that the spiritual center of the earth moved over to the Andes. And that cycle began in around 2013. And at that point, people started to become very interested in visiting the Andes and going into sacred sites. And why? Why are we so called to visiting these sacred sites and these temples? Because these places have been coded with remembering. From who? From these wonderful beings, we call them the Nyopamachus, these eternal guardians, these masters and priestesses of light throughout time, that were recognized for their service to their communities, for reaching a state of enlightenment. You know, in the Inca and the pre-Inca traditions and cultures, being the best at whatever you chose to come to do meant that you were revered as being an awakened one, as a master or a priestess of light. And often, you know, we think that our purpose has to be something that we do, but rather it's actually something we came to be. So these great masters that carried this incredible wisdom were mummified at the end of their lives, and they were planted like seeds into these sacred sites and these temples, into these usnus, these tombs, for us to visit, to receive their eternal wisdom. It doesn't matter that the conquistadors during the colonialism, never get that word right, they came and they dug up a lot of those tombs, but the eternal masters are always residing there. Nothing can interrupt their essence. So we are drawn there. The minute we touch a stone, the minute we walk in, we are receiving this yachai, this divine wisdom, this munai, this unconditional love, this yankai we call it, which activates our service, and this kausai, which is this really strong, vital life force energy, and it all creates this awakening within us. So this cycle that we're moving in now, the Tarapai Pacha, is a cycle of great change, and we are moving into the golden age. Many years ago, when the conquistadors came to the Andes, the people there, they call them the Laika, the enlightened ones, they took all of the traditions of the mountains up, right up high into a place called Eros, and they hid the traditions of the Mesa up there. And the prophecy said that there would be a great cataclysmic event, and when that happened, they knew it would be time to bring the traditions back down and share them with the white brotherhood that had lost their way. There is a major temple in the center of Cusco called the Coricancha. It's the temple of the sun, the most important temple of the Inca and the pre-Incan Empire. It was the home of the legendary sun disk, which wasn't really a golden disk at all, but rather something that was like plasma. It was a portal said to be gifted to the pre-Inca by the Lemurian masters, and now still being searched for. There's, really this portal is in your heart. But anyhow, the temple, like many of them, they tried to bomb it, the Spaniards. They weren't able to bomb the foundations, the pre-Inca foundations, so they just built a massive, huge cathedral over the top of the pyramid. In 1956, there was an earthquake, and down came the cathedral walls, and left was the Coricancha. Now, amazingly, 500 years had passed, and a lot of people, local people of the Andean community, had even forgotten about their own ways, about their own traditions, because this epicenter had been hidden, along with many others. At this point, the Laika knew it was time to bring the traditions down and share them, and so that's what they did. And since then, they've been inviting people to come. That was in about 1956. And now, as I said, as we move into the year of 2013, with this huge shift of energy happening on the planet, we are moving into this hummingbird era, this era of evolution. And for this new earth to be fully activated and fully revealed, sometimes it's referred to as the fifth dimension. And sometimes you might hear that and you're like, what is this fifth dimension? Does that mean that this world's just going to disappear? Like, is the world going to end and a new world's going to open up? Who knows? That could happen. But really what it is it's the dimension of the heart. It means living by being led from your heart center. Your decisions, your life path, your relationships, the way you think, the way you act, the way you feel is coming from the heart, rather than the old map of the world, which was very much led by the ego mind and trapped us in this paradigm of fear, of greed, of struggle. Whereas the heart-centered paradigm has us in, largely, most of the time, in a feeling of trust, of love, of flow, of gratitude, of connectedness. And we have that choice to live in that fifth dimensional reality, even with all of the crazy 3D stuff that's still going on, because it is also prophesied, my loves, that there will be people that will be left behind. Does that mean that they'll leave the planet? No, not necessarily. Does that mean that they'll stay trapped in that old 3D way of thinking and being, which is really a place of pain and suffering? Yes. And that can be going on around you, and you can still choose to stay in a fifth dimensional frequency. It's not so easy, and it will challenge you, especially if your family and your loved ones aren't on the same page, but that's okay. And that's part of the fifth dimensional frequency, is that we don't judge. We let everybody be exactly where they are. We don't try and push and shove them into being something we think they should be. We just stay in our highest essence, hold them in their highest light, and be the lighthouses for others. Lead by example. Because when people see that you're living a life that is full of abundance, manifestation, joy, that you're living the life of your dreams, that you have the courage to step out and step beyond the 3D programs, there'll be a couple of things happening. Some people are going to be very jealous, and they will project their anger, their jealousy at themselves, actually, but they'll project it onto you, and that can be really hurtful. So when that happens, we need to stay strong and have compassion and know that it's nothing to do with us at all. Ask me how I know. It happens to me all the time. It always has. It's training. It's training for you to stay in your highest frequency, because for us to be in this new earth, live in this heart-centered fifth dimensional frequency, we must be able to transcend the fears, the pettiness, the gossip, and all of the stuff that hangs out there in the 3D. Some of the people, though, will be completely inspired by you. They'll want to be around you. They'll want to know how you did it, how you got there. They'll witness your path, and then they'll try and implement some, or not try, they will implement some of those things into their own lives, and little by little they may even ask for guidance, whatever it might be. And that is how your greatest service here on Pachamama is to be the lighthouse for others and help people to rise, not through force, but through being a true leader, a luminous leader, and leading by our example. So for this new earth and for this new way to come in, for any great change to occur, there needs to be chaos, right? This is science. It's the nature of life. If you have a petri dish, you're doing a science experiment, and you have a microbe or a bacteria in that dish, you'll see that when you have one particular species, it lives harmoniously. There's no disruption, there's no, chaos, but there is also no evolution. And eventually that amoeba, that one species will die because there's no change. When you introduce something that creates chaos, destruction, causes the old environment to break down, then what happens? A new species is born, one that is stronger, that is more resilient, and that is able to move up the evolutionary scale into, in terms of where we're at. We would call that an ascension process or an awakening process. But as that happens, the old will drop away. And so this is a lot of the chaos that we are seeing around us. We're seeing it collectively in the 3D world. We are also seeing it in our lives, destruction and change. This is the energy of the puma, or of the jaguar, that is breaking everything down to break through. And that process can be really tough and challenging and feel very rough when we're going through it. But what I would encourage you to do is to know deeply within your heart, trust and know that this is all a part of the divine plan. This is a part of the cosmic program of the universe, that this is a next stage and a next step in our awakening and in our evolution. So what do we do when this is happening? Because if you're watching this and you're in this beautiful container here, for sure, you will be an empathic being that feels a lot of stuff that's happening around you, in your families, in your communities, and also in the collective. And that's a whole other thing that we can talk about around energetic strength and resilience, but I don't have that much time to talk to you about it right now. But one of the most important things that you can do when you wake up in the morning is remember that 95% of what you feel when you wake up in the morning isn't yours. When you're asleep, a lot of your whole energetic field is very open, and you are tapping and tuning into everything else that's going on the planet, that can be really disruptive. And the thing is if we get taken out by those energies, then we're not much good to anybody. We want to be able to feel compassion for what is happening and take action without being overwhelmed by the empathy. So we need to be calling ourselves back into our center, and you can do that simply by saying I am and your name 3 times. You can call yourself back into your center. You take a deep breath and you put yourself inside of a neon blue crystal, a beautiful crystal that goes deep into the earth and up into the cosmos, and you feel this amazing, incredible neon blue color. And this isn't a protection. What this does is it's a transformer of energy. So you also become in service as you're transforming these energies. I'll explain to you how this works. When you think of a crystal, right, the reason that we work with crystals is because they are masters of transforming energy. So a crystal never says, oh, no, don't give me that energy, yuck, I don't want it, or judges the energy as good or as bad. The crystal just says, bring it on, whatever it is, bring it on. I can transform that energy into the highest frequencies of light, and then I send it out as even a higher frequency, as blessings. So we need to learn to know ourselves as these powerful crystals, because we are. Our blood and our bones, we're made of the stuff physically and energetically. That is our true nature. So by putting ourselves inside of these neon blue crystals, then as we breathe in, we set a very powerful program that as soon as anything touches the surface of that crystal, it's instantly transformed into what we call Sami energy, the highest frequencies of love, the highest frequencies of light. We breathe it in, and first we receive it, and then as we breathe out, we send it. And this is a simple practice that you can do at any time of the day. Good when you first wake up, awesome if you're having a rough one during the day, and you can even just take yourself into the bathroom and do this for a few minutes, and it will help. So that's a practical tool that you can use as we're moving through these things. The other thing I just wanted to touch on is another kind of energy that's going to be having us feel all kinds of weird and wonderful symptoms, and this is this photonic light, this awakening and ascension frequencies that we are receiving in the body. On a physical level, for reals, measurable by science, we are having the biggest solar flares, M-class solar flares, hitting the surface of the earth that we have ever had in human history. The biggest measurable ever. They began in about 2018, which makes sense, right? With all of the things going on. These photonic rays of light that are coming to us from beyond the sun, from the center of the cosmos. Now, when these rays hit, the frequency, the electromagnetic frequency of the earth changes. So you can imagine what it does when that light is being absorbed, and it is, whether we are seeing it or not. I mean, we listen to a radio and we don't question how the music comes out of something like our, Bluetooth stereo that's right over there, do we? Yet we seem to think that there isn't anything going on beyond what our physical eyes can see. It's crazy. So this energy is coming in and it is hitting you like a lightning bolt. Now, can you imagine a lightning bolt striking a power box in your house? What happens? It blows the circuits, right? It blows the fuse. So our beautiful physical temples are perhaps designed, but in a way maybe not designed for, especially with our modern lifestyles and all the stresses and strains that we have, and the disease in the physical body from our environmental poisons like food and things in the air. So when this energy hits the physical body, the body takes a while to integrate it and to catch up. And it's kind of like an operating system on your computer. If you download an updated software or operating system, what do you have to do? You've got to reboot, right? You have to shut the computer down and you have to restart it. Well, we are the computer. The downloads, the upgrades are the new operating systems, the new software. So yes or yes, you will be made. If you don't give yourself the time to integrate, then that will happen anyway. So the trick is for you to choose. You know, choose to give yourself the rest before you're forced to rest. I call it the feather, the brick, the Mack truck. First of all, life tickles you with a feather. If you don't listen, it hits you with a brick. And if you don't listen, then you get the Mack truck. So rest, give yourself the time to integrate these energies before they have to take you out. So how does this feel when that light is being received? It can be causing all kinds of things going on in the physical body, from headaches to aches, pains, anxiety, heart palpitations, things that look like, you know, sorry to say, but like diarrhea. There can be all kinds of symptoms that are happening in the physical body that are being also caused because as this light enters into your being, it's like the time, there is no time anymore for us to over process things and to go into our stories of things. We've done a lot of that. We've been in a time where we are going through and moving through all of our traumas, both our own and our ancestral. We've been doing a lot of shadow work and it has been necessary, but we are also now on a fast track. We need to hit a tipping point so that the energy of the planet rises and we can shift collectively into this heart-based frequency that I was talking about before. So this energy is so intelligent that it will move through the body and it will find any areas where there is stagnation, where there is block, where there is trauma, anything that needs to be liberated, anything that needs to be healed, and it will be taken out of the body quickly. And sometimes it can be a little too quickly. So what do you do about it? First of all, you celebrate it because this is freaking awesome. You are being upgraded, and there is always a massive pop through after one of these experiences. So rather than over analyzing everything that's happening and thinking, oh my God, what's going on, and just be like, wow, this is incredible. I am a part of this time that was prophesized, this new cycle. I'm here and I'm living it and I get to see it and watch it, and shit, yeah, it's hard sometimes, but holy cow, it's freaking awesome. And look how far I've come, and I can see how far I've come, and I can see how far the world has come. So keep your focus, keep your eye on the prize. This is the medicine of the hummingbird, the medicine of awakening, the medicine of love, of being able to receive the nectar and the sweetness from even the thorniest of bushes, from finding the beautiful flowers, so that you can become that medicine and share that medicine with the world around you. You need to support the physical body however it needs. That means, again, more rest, more water. Please continue to move. That doesn't mean push yourself and force yourself to do strenuous activity, but do something to move the body, even if it's gently. Dance is awesome. Things that bring you joy. You want to bring in the frequencies, even if you don't feel like it, those frequencies of joy, those frequencies of lightness, even when you feel heavy, and it's okay to feel heavy. Allow, accept, embrace those feelings. Let yourself be still, let yourself feel it, but also be aware that you don't get sucked into the vortex and taken down and out with it, because that's counterproductive, that's counterintuitive for what we're actually working with. So it's a fine balance, but the more you allow yourself to feel what's arising, and at the same time remember how awesome it is, and just be like, wow, this actually feels like shit, but I am so stoked, this is awesome, this means something really big is happening for me and I'm excited. Okay, so we have a lot of this energy hitting the planet at the moment. There's a lot of blue light surges especially that are coming through, that same beautiful neon blue that I was telling you about. This energy is so intelligent, whether you are aware of it or not. It will be reaching you and it will be working with you and for you. And that's the other thing to remember, that we are not a victim to any of this. We are not a victim to anything in our lives that have happened. That this is a whole other video again around our sacred contracts and, you know, why we're here. But we are a part of something much greater and a part of something really wonderful. And this is not happening to us. It is happening for us, but even more than that, it is happening through us, and this is wonderful. So, my loves, I've gone a bit over time, but I hope that there was something helpful for you in there. I would love to see you in one of my offerings, either in person or online, if you want to go deeper into the wisdom, into the traditions, both quantum and ancient, then I would love to see you there. I love you very, very much. I'm sending you all the blessings from my heart. And I just invite you to close your eyes down now and hold out your hands while I send you some blessings from the sacred Mesa and perhaps from the sacred Mapacho as well. And I invite you to allow yourself to be liberated of anything that you might be carrying, of anything that you might be holding, of any heaviness that might be in your heart, of any looping thoughts or worries that might be in your mind. Just open your hands, put your feet flat on the ground, feel your sits bones on the chair, take a deep breath. Connect deeply into Pachamama, sending your light from your heart right down into her crystalline core. Breathing the light up from her core and into your heart. Breathing the light from your heart through the crown of your head and into the center of the cosmos. Into your divine origin, your star. Breathing the light down through the crown into your heart. And anchoring your light into the earth and just preparing to receive. Nyopa kunyai kausak taita mamukuna. Pachamama news de Santa Tierra, yapana pukuna rokuna okukuna empikuna. Hampui, 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 hampui saminchai, iwaljai, tulunjai, karpanchai. Hampui, yachai, yankai, munai, kausai. Santa Mesa, Wilken Mesa, Sumachauki, Sacred Auki. Hampui, hampui, hampui. Hunyai pak, kausai pak. Gracias, gracias, gracias. Hampui, munai, yachai, yankai, kausai. For my beautiful sisters. And just receiving the smoke of the sacred tobacco, the black tobacco, to clean and cleanse and clear your energetic field, and allowing yourself to be filled with the highest frequencies of light. Opening your mind, opening your third eye to see beyond what the physical eyes can see, remembering that you can always close the crown chakra a little bit if you need to, kind of like a camera lens. If you feel like you're receiving too much more than you can receive at once, you can just close that and ask your guardians to slow the information down so you can integrate it. Clearing away any thoughts that no longer serve you. Opening your heart, lightening your heart. Clearing your solar plexus of any heavy energies that you may have taken on consciously or unconsciously. Helping you to digest those energies and turn them into the highest frequencies of light. Now moving down to your womb center, any traumas, any ancestral traumas, any fears that you may have around being here in our beautiful Pachamama, anchoring you into the earth. Now clearing your energetic field. Transforming all energies into the highest frequencies of love and the highest frequencies of light. Only the highest frequencies of energies or higher are able to be with you. Any beings, any frequencies that aren't of the highest frequencies, of the lower frequency of energy, are only welcome to be in your energetic field if and when they are ready to be transformed into the highest frequencies of love and the highest frequencies of light. Sealing you with protection now. And infinite blessings and love. Santa Mesa Wilka Mesa Sumakauki Sacred Auki Apo Zungati Apo Salkente Apo Wache Wilka Apo Waskaran Apo Tete Apo Maru Siwarkente Apo Pumach Yahu Mama Aupakai Apo Nina Mamoeira. Gracias, gracias, gracias. Thank you, dear maestros, for my beautiful sisters, Pachamama Nusta, Madre Santa Tierra. Gracias. Thank you to all of our ancestors. May my beautiful sisters walk in light, in love, in joy, in abundance, in harmony, in absolute protection. And may their processes be sweet, easy, and may they flow through life like the crystalline waters. Thank you, beautiful sisters. Thank you, Girl Awakening. Thank you, Amanda and Joe. I love you very much, and I hope to see you soon. Tupananchis Karma. It means forever and always. Bye for now.